up, everybody? You're listening to an all-new episode of the Christian Gray Snow Show, a podcast from Hurrdat Media. I am your host, Christian Gray Snow, and today I'm joined by two ladies who could say this to me.
You have no idea what's right.
That's right. I'm joined by the fabulous duo behind the Real Moms of Bravo Instagram page and podcast, Abby and Vanessa, and we're going to get into this week's Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and more. So, as I'm going to be joined by these two ladies today, you can just call us the Trace Amigas, hop on the fun bus, and let's get going. Abby and Vanessa, hello.
Hi, this is so fun.
Yeah, you guys look so pretty. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for being with me today, of course. So for those who may not know, I want you to just quickly tell your story. Like, you Real Moms of Bravo, your moms, you love Bravo. Y'all started this whole brand together. Yes, y'all are brand bitches out here.
A lifestyle brand.
International lifestyle brand. Absolutely. Yes. So tell me, how did y'all meet? And, have y'all known each other your whole lives or what? Tell me everything.
Well, so we haven't known each other our whole lives, but half of our lives now, because we are not spring chickens. We met in college, our freshman year of college. We met in the dorms, became closer as we got older. We were the same major at Mizzou, go Tigers. Our sororities were across the street. And so we were friends then, but then we became good friends post-college. And really kind of what started us, like our bond, is we were at a happy hour and everyone's talking about The Bachelor. And we're like, we don't watch The Bachelor, we watch Housewives. And it was like an instant connection. And little did we know, like 12 plus years later, here we are now on a podcast talking about Housewives all the time.
I mean, that is wild. So whose idea was it to start? Did you have the podcast or the Instagram page first?
So this is Vanessa speaking. Hello, everyone. So I kind of pushed Abby, I will say. We both had this mindset because at the time there was, two Judgy Girls and Danny Pellegrino. Those were kind of some of the OGs in the Bravo sphere with the podcasting side. So Abby's like, I don't know, should we do it? And I was like, you know what? There's a million true crime podcasts. And none of us wake up and say there's too many. There's something for everyone. And why don't we do our take with a flavor of motherhood in there? I'm just sharing our experiences. So we started this with a podcast in mind, and then being type A competitive people went all in on Instagram because of the instant gratification that you get from the likes and the follows. I'm not going to lie. So Here we are.
I absolutely love it. Okay, so you have your podcast. Who would be dream interview for both of you? Maybe you have the same answer. I don't know.
Well, so I would want to do a duo. I'd want to do Karen Huger and Giselle. I feel like you're going to say Karen Huger, Vanessa.
You're right. I would say Karen Huger, or I would say Kyle Richards. Christian, I know you love Kyle. We've always loved Kyle. Even after this terrible season, we still love her. We still love her. So I would just like her take on life, motherhood, etc.
Oh my God. I feel like we need to get Kyle to interview with y'all. I feel like y'all would have a great conversation with her. She is honestly the nicest, most down to earth lady. I met her even before, I knew her through Housewives Instagram, just on a TV set one time. She was there doing something and she was so nice. My boss was talking about how nice she was. So Kyle's a sweetheart. Yes.
We met her actually at Catch Thursday night before BravoCon started. We hadn't been drinking yet, so we were very low key. And we just walked over, we just want to let you know that we love you and we can't wait for this weekend. And she goes, haven't I met you guys before? And I almost fainted, literally. Yeah.
So she remembered?
I saw and met her at BravoCon 2019, but we've interacted on the Instagrams here or there. So I took it. I don't know if she was just trying to
she'd probably be nice.
Make a girl feel good and just stuff that to cover her ass, because she probably meets people that she's met before and doesn't remember. So it was lovely.
Got you. Well, to kick things off, I want to do a fun icebreaker question. I want you both to tell me truthfully, all time, dead or alive. That means, either on a current cast or not. Who do you each feel, Vanessa, you go first. Who do you think is the most overrated Real Housewife cast member of all time and why?
Oh my God. I feel like I'm going to choose violence here.
Oh God.
I don't know. I'm kind of scared to say what I honestly feel and what I think, but I'm going to say Bethenny Frankel.
That is my answer.
That I'm gonna say Bethenny. I'm gonna say I think Bethenny's popularity, only thing that she's ever done is just be mean. I mean, yeah, she's been quick-witted, but she's just, her brand is mean. And I can appreciate on one hand, for those of you who are gonna come at me, I know what she's done for the franchise and blah blah blah. I can hear you all chirping right now, but that bitch was mean and still is mean. So bye, Bethenny. Except, stop. I do appreciate what she does when there's a crisis. So I do want to say that.
Yeah.
Cover my ass there. But aside from that, bye, bitch.
You said that, and I get shit for saying that too. She has always been my most overrated ever. So, Abby, what are you thinking?
All right, well, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna go with LVP. I don't think she was ever an amazing housewife, to be honest, and I don't think we need her on Vanderpump Rules.
Are y'all my long lost friends? Because those are my top two answers. I swear to God, LVP and Bethenny. I think that, look, I appreciate their contributions to the franchise. And I'm always going to respect an OG, always. So, but at the end of the day, they really just didn't give it. I don't know. Everything they gave was either rooted in phoniness or just meanness, like you said. And so for me, it was hard to enjoy that. I like, everyone knows I'm like a Vicky fan, but it's like, I like the real life, just crazy, unexpected shit, screaming in the middle of a driveway. Like, that's the kind of stuff I like,
I would even say, like, Ramona, even as wild and batshit as she is, I think she's
overrated.
I think she's done more for the franchise than Bethenny.
Oh, I completely agree.
I don't think she's overrated at all. I mean, Turtle Time, Audacity, you don't support other women. I mean, you have to think of iconic moments, not necessarily like who they are as a person.
Her in the shoe store with the Viva's leg.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing though. Like, that takes a special person.
And to do it in front of a fucking 20-person camera crew.
Yeah. That's a special person.
I love it. Well, before we get into this week's Salt Lake City, we're going to play a fun game. It's called Mama Knows Best Housewives Edition, okay? I'm going to read out scenarios that we as Housewives viewers have seen play out on our screens over the years involving parenting and kids. I'm going to ask both of you, and you can either answer individually or scream your answers out at the same time, okay? If you would do it or not, okay? Are you ready?
All right, here we go.
Would you pull a Kim Zolciak and smoke cigarettes inside the house with your children?
No.
Would you pull a Vicky Gunvalson and show up to your kid's house with a new car and tell them they're going to make the payments?
No.
Would you allow your kid to sing "Waking Up in the Morning" in front of at a family event?
100%, yes. Yeah.
Obviously, that was Teresa. I forgot to put that in there. Would you pull a Jill Zarin and allow your kid to go to a fat camp?
No.
Would you pull a Lisa Vanderpump, buy one kid a house while making the other one work in your restaurant?
Possibly.
I'm gonna say maybe.
I love it. Would you pull a Lisa Rinna and share a book you've written with your kids for future sex tips?
I mean,
what age are they?
I mean, you know what? I'm gonna say yes.
I'm gonna say yes. You know what? A good sex life is a good thing. Yeah.
You know what? That was not the answer I expected, but I appreciate it because it's a good positive. If you can't talk to your parents about it, then what are you going to do? I couldn't talk to my parents about anything sexual. I'm 30 years old. I don't even think I've ever said the word sex in front of my parents, So, would you pull a Ramona Singer and call another mom a weekend mom if she was out partying too often?
Probably.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I really am that weekend mom, to be honest.
No, it's so funny watching back. I think it's season 1 of Roni where like Luann's going out and they have their housekeeper who was like the nanny there with them, and they get the confessional of her saying, yeah, I wish that Luann would be at home more. And I was like, oh shit. And then it showed like Noelle saying like, oh, can I come with you or something? She's like, no, it's mama's night out. You ain't coming along, bitch. Well, I also wanted to talk to you guys about the Bethenny and Andy of it all. We recently saw that Bethenny launched another fucking podcast. It's called RHOSLC. It's about She says it's not Housewives recaps, but it's about Housewives in like real life scenarios, whatever the fuck that means. Like, I don't know. She opened up recently and said Andy might be annoyed with her. She said he doesn't care personally. He's probably a little annoyed, and it is a great idea. It's different and it's exploded, and the numbers are insane. I'm sure he and some Housewives are a little irritated. So, you know, Bethenny on TV or off TV, no one's ever going to be Bethenny's biggest fan other than Bethenny. What are y'all's thoughts? Because, you know, we all know by now she didn't want to do Legacy. She has, and then it's just kind of weird timing, you know, with all the big changes going on in the world of Roni that she decides to do this. Talk to me. Should Andy be annoyed?
Yes, I think Bethenny, as you guys aren't surprised, since she was my number one overrated, I think this is the thing. She has bit the hand that has fed her and fed her and fed her. This woman, when she left, she's done nothing but trash Housewives, nothing but trash the name, has, you know, made references how they begged her to come back, and now to go back on it and act like you're amazing for coming up with this brilliant idea of going back over it and act, you know, realizing that you're continuing to monetize on it. Bye. I would be super annoyed if I was Andy, and I would not be surprised if Sirius had asked Bethenny to do a show of some kind.
Of course. Well. Yeah. And I think that's why she's like gloating right now. I think that she's not happy that it's doing well. She's happy that she was able to take an offer outside of Andy's and be like, meh. You know, Abby, what do you think?
That's exactly it. And here's my thing with Bethenny. She would be nothing if it wasn't for Housewives. When we first met her, she was struggling to sell organic foods in grocery stores. And I think
forgets.
she forgets. Like, she acts as if, I get she built a company on her own, but it would never have catapulted. She would never have the success and even like the accessibility to do things the way she does now. Like, all of her charitable contributions, none of that would be possible if she had never been a housewife. So just her blatant like disrespect and ungratefulness for it is just, it's like beyond annoying. And then as a podcaster, I will never forget when she went on Danny Pellegrino's show and was bragging about how easy it is for her to get talent, and she doesn't know why podcasters complain about it. I'm like,
are you joking?
Yes. And we're like, well, bitch, the rest of us are no names working our asses off. You know everybody because you were a housewife. And this whole Rewives thing is like, girl, you miss Housewives and you won't say it.
Exactly. And you're looking to collect as much pennies as you can on the Housewives name without actually going, because she doesn't want to put in the Housewives work is what it is. I firmly believe that being a housewife is not an easy job. I think filming is exhausting. I think they film 40 hours a week. I think the emotional stress of all of it is a whole nother factor. But it's just, I don't know. It's almost like, is this part of her plan to like milk it as much as she can outside before she finally agrees to come back or some shit? Like, and also what frustrates me, and I love Andy, but it's like she gets away with fucking murder. You know, like she could say and do whatever. But it's now I just saw he's having her on Watch What Happens Live soon. Like he was taking questions on Twitter. It's like, if I was him, I wouldn't let that bitch on any show on my network the way that she acts.
I agree. I would say like she's on the do not invite list, but I wonder if he's like, hey, we'll get a lot of viewers because people know that like this whole thing that she's doing, they probably know I'm pissed off. I think it's very like interesting. He has Jeff Lewis on there too. Like this could be a very heated episode. And I think it's almost like today, I've never watched Good Morning America, but you better believe I tuned in to watch those messy ass hosts act like nothing went on. Are you kidding me?
I was like, what an insult to all of America's intelligence.
Yeah, they're like, it's Friday Eve. Who's ready for the weekend? I'm like, you too, because you're gonna fuck the whole weekend. Like, you know what's going on.
Fuck and while your spouse is sitting at home upset,
crying while your wife is like drying your daughter's tears. But yeah, go have a good weekend. And so I feel like Andy's probably like taking a page out of that book and is like, we're gonna get some viewers and it's gonna be messy.
You know, I will say, I mean, now I'm not going to watch out of spite. I'm going to wait and watch it like later. But I do hope that the numbers for that night, just because it's Bethenny, aren't the greatest. Because I feel like she's the one. She's going to be on the Ratings Bravo Twitter account, like refreshing the night after her appearance.
We should tell everyone not to watch and just go to the Watch What Happens Live Instagram because they do good recaps anyway. Yeah. Just don't watch it.
Okay, I agree.
We'll start a campaign. Nobody watch it and just look for the clips later.
Love it. All right, well, we are going to dive into, we're already 9 weeks into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I feel like it just started. We already have gotten a mid-season trailer. Andy's already collecting questions on Twitter for the reunion. I think the reunion's going to happen in like the next like 2 weeks. I think it's like the 15th or 16th or something like that. But once the ladies, San Diego. We're off to fucking San Diego. Here we go.
The whale's vagina.
It's like
the worst trips ever.
I tweeted last night. I was like, I cannot believe. Like, even taking Jen's legal issues into consideration. Is it like a distance that she can travel, or can they not go anywhere in the States? Because there's so many other options of fun
like
places
Palm
to go.
Springs would have been more like glamorous.
Palm Springs, Miami would have been fun. I mean, a Chicago trip could even be fun.
I was going to say Nashville, New Orleans. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. To see them in Nashville would be wild.
I mean, they would have been so drunk and silly. I would have loved it.
See, okay. I don't know what's going on, but Scottsdale and San Diego is not it. And the ladies are very clearly not here for it. We've heard, Heather throw a little bit of shade about it. Here we go to sunny Arizona. And then Whitney last night talking about Jen's court travel order, saying that they can only go so far. But yes, so this is technically Jen Shah's trip, we see, but they are using Angie K's connection to stay at the house. I don't know what it was, but something about the line in the car where Heather was like, "Cheers to Angie K's hookup in San Diego," sitting right in front of Jen Shah, who like wasn't able to get them a house or anything at all. I was like, damn. So what I wanted to ask though is because when they get there and they're in the car to the house, Meredith's joking about how there can't be locked doors. Heather says, well, how am I going to masturbate? And that's when Angie K reveals she's never been on a girls' trip, or she hasn't been on one since 1999. And Dana, the other newbie, hasn't been on one ever. Okay, so you're both moms. I saw you both at BravoCon. I would assume that was a girls' trip. I don't think the kiddos were hiding back at the hotel or anything. So how do y'all feel about this when you hear women say they've never been on girls' trips? Is this normal?
No, I think it's weird. Okay, listen, I think, one, it takes two to have a child. And if you do have a partner, you can make plans and say, I'm going to leave you with this child, and I'm going to at least even one night. It doesn't even have to be an overnight. You just go and have a couple drinks with your girls. I just think it's weird. I'm always a little bit obsessed with people who don't have close female friendships or who don't do things like that, because I'm kind of like, why? Like, what's going on? So I think it's weird personally. And I don't know how old their kids are, but I would imagine they're more grown than ours. So yeah, it's weird.
Just for reference, how old are all y'all's kids?
I have two girls. They are 2 and 5.
Oh, babies.
I have 3 boys, 5, 4, and 5 months. So
Lord God, y'all are busy. Oh,
but we still go on girls' weekends. So if we can do it, anyone can do it.
And record a podcast.
Yeah.
So
and run an Instagram.
We are an international lifestyle brand.
I love that.
No, to me, it screams, this is going to sound so bad, but it screams poor. Like, can you not afford a girls' trip?
That is the funniest shit
have you been like perusing the Southwest sales and you're like, oh, not this year, maybe next year? Like, you're trying to act like you are this, like, rich woman and you've never been on a girls' trip.
Oh, okay. Do y'all prefer girls' trips or couples trips? Do y'all do couples trips?
We've done them.
We've done them before. Yeah, we had fun.
Okay.
I could go either way. Honestly, I think in our situation, just speaking between our friendships, our spouses get along. We all get along.
Okay.
So it's fun. Also, we enjoy getting away from our children and our husband, so we can go either way.
I prefer a girls' trip personally. Couples trips are fun. It's just a different vibe, I think.
I get that.
But I mean, any time away just to like sleep in and get drunk and be hungover and not have to like chase a kid is like such a win. But there's something about girls' trips. Like, I don't know. I just think it's like really, you get to know people in a different way. It's a really great bonding like opportunity. And I think just for yourself, like, I know, like for me being at BravoCon, like that was my first time away from my baby. It was kind of nice to be like, oh, I'm more than just a mom. Like, I am this other person. And I think you need that for your self-worth and identity. So I mean,
nice little reminder. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we all need moments like that though, just to be like a little bit different than our standard routine. I think it's very weird to have never gone on a girls' trip though.
I also think I'm surprised no one said not even like a bachelorette party.
Yeah.
Because bachelorette parties are notorious for travel or taking a trip. And so I don't know. I bet they're going to come back and tweet something and be like, well, actually I have, because the internet's going to come for them.
Also, can you imagine like having not been on a girls trip ever or not been on one in 20 years, and then the first time you do it's with a group of fucking strangers and a camera crew? What a nightmare.
In San Diego? They're never going to go on one again. Yeah.
Ew. Yes. All right. So we see that the house is lovely. It's beautiful. It is giving like Miami vibes. It's like all white, everything. They go on a tour. Angie is kind of showing everyone, you know, because where they're going to stay or not where they're going to stay, showing everyone where the bedrooms are, things like that. And Jen all of a sudden gets pissed off, I guess, because Angie was having a little spotlight moment. That's kind of what it felt like to me. I'll get y'all's opinion. Then Jen's anger is ignited even more when Angie decides that she's going to take the biggest bedroom in the house because she had, as we said, she had the connection to the house, right? So talk to me on a girls trip. How does that work? Like, are there rules?
Vanessa and I always seem to be sharing a bed on these girls trips.
Oh my God, y'all are the Giselle and Robin.
Ramona and Sonia.
Yeah, like we really don't care, but I do feel like it's like more often than not we're sharing a bed. I think the room situation at like it's really never been that dramatic for me whenever I go on a girls trip.
I also haven't stayed anywhere where I'm like dying. Like all the places I've stayed at, I would say have been nice, but I've never been like dying to have like an extra bigger room because I know my time isn't going to be there most of the time because you're going to be out and about and doing shit. And truthfully, I do feel like Angie K should get the largest room because she's the reason why they got that house. I bet production couldn't find a house. No, they wouldn't be. So like to me, it's like, duh, like she should get that room. You wouldn't have this bomb ass house if it weren't for her. So
and Jen's gotten the best room like for the past 4 trips because of her arrest, which newsflash, bitch, you're guilty. So you don't get the best room anymore.
That is not a valid reason to give her the biggest room. And they're like, I mean, I will say Whitney's confessionals again. They killed me this episode. And she was like, well, I guess she can have the biggest room because she is going to spend the next few years in a 6x9 jail cell. Yeah. And it's like shade number 1, but also like truth tea, because it's like, why is she's so focused on, I mean, I guess it could go either way. It's like maybe she knows her reality is going to suck for the next few years. So she's like, bitch, I deserve to have the nicest of the nice while I can. But also on the opposite end, I'm like, shouldn't you just be enjoying literally anything while you can? Like, why are you being picky right now?
Especially a free trip.
And why do you still have glam? Like when they mentioned the glam would be staying there maybe in the casita, like why do you still even have glam? When you were talking about your finances and all this shit, like what?
I mean, I can't imagine the judge is going to look lightly upon that.
She's an idiot. Like she's just asking for extra years. Like I
agree.
Like what is wrong with you?
Well, speaking of asking for extra years, we're going to talk about her pouring a drink on Angie's head. I mean, at first I was like, how did this even happen? I felt like it all just happened like really fast, you know? And also, again, if a judge sees that, is that what I'm kind of thinking? Maybe that's why she was like, oh, we're friends. It was a joke. It was a joke. I'm like, I don't know that she was trying to make Angie K feel better. I think she realized on camera, I just low-key assaulted someone and I'm on trial for a crime. You know, like I should probably try and take that back really quick. How do y'all feel about the drink thing? She poured one on herself to make it seem like it was a joke, which I'm not going to lie. When she poured the drink on herself, I thought that was fucking hilarious. When she was like, look, but I don't know. Was that a line cross? What do y'all think?
I think it was a line cross. It kind of reminded me of, remember when Brandy slapped LVP and she said it was a joke? Like it kind of reminded me of that. I'm like, girl, there's jokes and then there's I fucked up, but I'm going to backpedal. And that was kind of like I fucked up, I'm going to backpedal.
I agree. Vanessa, what do you think? What do you think about Jen? Do you think she's just like showing out? Is she later at the episode, we saw Meredith talk about how she thinks she's acting out because of her feelings. Do you think that's what we're seeing? Or is this just Jen?
I need Meredith to bring back the energy she had last season. The energy that she has towards finding a fucking bathtub. I need her to bring that towards going after Jen Shaw because this sympathy for her defrauding the elderly, I just don't understand. And I just, she should apologize. It was weird. It wasn't funny. It was,
wasn't.
I honestly felt like she looked at the camera. I was trying to get like a screen grab because I literally felt like she looked directly at the camera after she did it and like smirked. Like she
did y'all
knows
see that?
yes, like she knows exactly what she's doing and she's grasping for straws right now because she knows her 15 minutes are about to be up.
Yeah. And it's like, but baby, you ain't going to get any more 15 minutes anytime soon if you keep acting out like this in public, because it's like they are not going to have any grace on you at all. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm sorry. Like, I feel like I'm more stressed about her potential sentencing than she is. You know?
I mean,
and it's
after
like,
the Chrisleys, she should be stressed. Like, she should be, after all these. Who was the other person who recently that got
Elizabeth
sentenced?
Holmes.
Yes.
And they didn't go lightly on her being pregnant.
Oh,
So-
fully I mean, I think she might get to have her child before she has to report, which, if I'm being honest, I don't think she even deserved that, because there's many women that do not get that right. And I don't know why she's any fucking different. But anyway, off to the yacht we go. Also on the way to the yacht, Angie reveals, we're talking a lot about Angie this episode in case y'all couldn't tell. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, Angie, give her a snowflake, maybe give her 2 snowflakes. I'm here for Angie K. Okay. She says that Jen did not offer to pay anything for Coach Shaw's birthday party that we saw at Angie's house way earlier. I think that was like episode 1. She brought it up in front of the group in the car. And honestly, I think what annoys me the most, even if it's right, is like Heather is so quick to defend every fucking thing that Jen does.
I
don't
like
get it.
Can't. It makes me want to scratch my eyeballs. I've never seen someone like be so blindly loyal to someone for what? Like what? Like I do not understand it. Because Jen has been shitty to her too, and yet
horrible.
I don't know. It's like Stockholm syndrome or something.
I was just gonna say it's like this weird thing with these people that like part of the Mormon church and they break away, but it's like they're always desperate for like someone's approval. And I think for Heather, she just transferred that need for approval from the church over to Jen. And I don't know why.
Oh, wow.
But it's like
That's
very
deep.
like, yeah, I feel like she just is always seeking Jen's approval and will do anything to be on Jen's good side. And it's like at the risk of her relationship with Whitney, even. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. I again, it's just like, I don't know what the reason is, like why the approval from Jen is what is being sought after. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is also a friendship that, could fully well be damn near terminated in the next. I mean, yeah, you can still go visit her and be your friend, but it's not going to be a normal friendship.
We'll be talking through the plexiglass.
Hello,
and the
touch my hands to the Dorit looking out the window. Okay, so yeah, I feel like Jen could literally slap someone across the face. Heather would defend it, but she also talks about how, Heather says that Angie offered up the house, and I don't know. Listen, I'm not a homeowner. I don't know how this goes. If you offer up your house for a party, does that mean you're paying for everything? Is there supposed to be a conversation about who does what, or what do y'all think?
I think you offer, right?
I think this is the difference between wealthy and not wealthy. I think if you're wealthy and you do that, if you're saying you can have it at my house and you're doing all that, you don't expect someone to pay. If you don't have the coins to really back that up, you're going to ask for that back.
That was how I first knew Jen Shaw was a fraud, actually. It was episode 2, season 1. I was like, this woman is the next Teresa. I knew it because she was complaining about the $80,000 she spent on Meredith's birthday party. And I thought a rich person wouldn't complain about that. They would just throw the party and that's it.
Also, a smart housewife is not going to go spend more than her first season salary on the first cast party.
Come on, girl. I will say, I love that Angie threw it out there though. That shade and that is being a housewife. So good for her.
Wait, so I have a question because Vanessa, you said that it could be because she doesn't have the money. Like it could be a wealth thing. Do we think it's because a wealth thing, or do we think in that moment she just realized we're playing a bigger game here, and if this is how you want to fucking be, 2 can play that game, and I'm gonna out your shit on camera. Maybe she doesn't even care about the money. She just wanted to be messy and out her on camera.
I think it was probably more the messiness. I mean, this is also the same person that said that $15,000 she could have bought her daughter a horse, and she did. This is the same woman who said that. So I think it's for the messiness of it all. I think she was just being messy and outing her and just bitch, I'm not going to give you any grace. You're not giving it to me. So here we go. And here are the receipts that I have.
Yeah. Well, the episode wraps up again, we kind of referenced this earlier, but it's Jen and Meredith talking about, you know, what has gone down with Angie, and Meredith in her confessional says Jen is numbing herself, really, I guess, just by like acting like an asshole to everyone. And she's hitting a breaking point. And it, in a weird way, it is kind of chilling, you know, that we're watching all this go down. Like, we don't know when the guilty, I mean, we know it's going to be at the end of the season, but I'm just curious to what's going through Jen's head in these moments, you know, because we just saw in this episode, she's voluntarily handing over $200,000 to attorneys, but somewhere in the back of her head, she had to know that she was fucking guilty, you know? So what I wanted to ask y'all is, what kind of time do you think Jen is going to serve, if any?
Oh, she'll definitely serve time.
I agree.
I mean, I think she pled guilty to get a lower charge, so it's not like she's going to be in there for like 50 years, like what was originally thrown out there. I wouldn't be shocked if it's over 5, though. Over 5.
I'm going to say 15.
Wow.
Oh,
with 15.
Holy shit.
She was a mastermind. She was
Yeah.
like the head top of the pyramid of this whole defrauding. I don't know. The feds are involved. I'm going to say 15.
Holy fucking
I'm
shit.
going to say more like, I think 7 or 8, and I bet she gets out around 6 for like good behavior.
Yeah, I'm thinking somewhere between like an 8 to 10 sentence,
Yeah.
and she'll maybe pull like 7. But
Isn't that wild though? I mean, like, yeah, Teresa went to jail. Well, I'm sorry, she went away. And like, wasn't it like 15 months, 14
she got
months?
sentenced to 15 months, and I think she was in there like 11 and a half.
Okay. And that felt like a long time. I mean,
Remember when Joe Giudice, 4 years?
Yes.
I like Apollo. I mean, they were gone for a long time, and that was a fraction of what she's fucking facing. So, I mean, it gives me goosebumps. In a
will we
weird
even
way.
have Housewives when she gets out? I mean,
That's what
7
I'm
years,
thinking.
I don't know. We could be done.
She's gonna come out and be like, "What Housewives are we about? What the fuck is this bitch talking about?"
Yeah.
You know, like that was so 20. What fucking year are we in? 2022, bitch.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh my
wanted
God,
to
she
wrap
could
up.
get
go
out
ahead.
in like 20. It could be 2030 when she gets out because she's not
Oh,
going
it
to be
could-
sentenced until 2023.
Imagine BravoCon 2035 and Jen Shaw is like the surprise guest.
Oh
my God,
She
I'll
won't
be-
be invited. She'll be crashing the hotel party like she did
Again.
this year.
Yes. Well, I wanted to wrap up Salt Lake and ask both of you who your MVP and your LVP was for this season, for this episode so far of Salt Lake City. So MVP, obviously your most valuable player. LVP, least valuable player. Who brought it for you this week and who did not bring it for you this week?
I think we can all agree that Angie K was the MVP this episode. She brought the drama, she carried the drama, and she brought the receipts. LVP, I'm going to give it to Heather. I'm sorry, Heather Gay stands. I'm going to go there. I like Heather, but I also do think and agree with Whitney that she likes to laugh behind humor and doesn't actually say what she means. And yet she continues to blindly defend Jen Shaw. So, and she was giddy that the attention was back on Angie. Was glad that the champagne was spilled on her. So she wasn't the bad guy. So I'm going to give it to her.
Love it. I agree.
I might say co-MVP though. Like, there is just something about Whitney. I think she is just really turning it on for us. And I'm sure you saw those panels at BravoCon. Like, she kind of was like the star of the Salt Lake City panel, and that's a big statement.
Oh, agree. Yeah, and Whitney knows how to make a TV show without making it seem like she's making a TV show, and that is a very, very good trait to have as a housewife. Absolutely.
She seems very authentic, natural, real with it. Good, the bad, the ugly's out there. I'm actually going to give my LVP to Meredith. I just feel like I love her, but I agree with you, like her energy, and I don't know. I just feel like she's not engaging in a bad way. Like I need more from her.
I heard that. All right, everybody. Well, that is all for Salt Lake City this week. And as we always do, we're going to end this episode with a game of our rapid fire Housewives questions where I'm going to put 60 seconds on the clock. Actually, we're probably going to go a little over 60 seconds today because I have 2 guests instead of 1. And I'm going to ask you these fun but mostly shady Housewives questions, and we're going to see which ones you can get through, okay? Since we have 2 guests, how about we rotate who goes first? So, Vanessa, you go first the first time, and then Abby, you go first the second time, okay? Ready?
Perfect.
3, 2, 1. First housewife from any city that comes to mind when I say the word boring. Go.
I feel like it's cliche Teddy.
I was gonna say Teddy, but I'd also say Joyce.
Oh, yes. Okay, Bravo Lib used to really dislike, but now you love.
Erica Jane.
Austin
yeah.
Kroll.
Oh,
Those are two good answers. Yeah. All right. If you could fire any current housewife from any city, who would it be?
I could fire Diana. I think that's gonna happen though.
Diana? Is that what you said? Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna just be like, in the future, I'm gonna go ahead and already fire Dorinda before she comes back.
She's hitting pause before it plays even.
Yeah.
I love
Permanent pause, girl. Permanent pause.
Create a Housewives franchise in any city. Where would it be?
Ooh, I would love to do like Silicon Valley, like all of those like startup wives. I think that would be interesting.
Yes.
I'd want to do Carmen, like where they filmed Big Little Lies, that section of California. I'd want to see like the real played out version of that.
Absolutely. Like Big Sur up in there. It's fucking beautiful up there. A housewife, if you ran into them in public, you would not say anything.
Jen Shaw.
I ran into one and didn't say anything.
Who?
Megan King Evans.
Oh, I would keep fucking walking too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you could have dinner tonight with any housewife in history, who would it be?
Oh God, that's so good. Nene.
Oh, good one.
The Grand Dame. I want to do fireball shots and drink Stella's with her.
Absolutely. I love it. All right. And last one, a secret love affair with any house husband in history. Who you banging?
I mean, Mauricio, obviously. I want to get
Okay.
stoned and fuck.
Oh.
And then get stoned and fuck again. Absolutely. I love it.
I'm gonna go with Evan Goldschneider because I feel like just like one blowjob and he'd be wrapped around my finger because he doesn't get them.
I mean, it wouldn't take much, would
Yeah.
it?
I love Jackie, by the way.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank y'all so much for joining me. Y'all, this was Abby and Vanessa from Real Moms of Bravo. Before we go, tell everybody podcast, when they can catch new episodes and Instagram handles, all that good stuff.
Well, you can find us wherever you're listening to this podcast at Real Moms of Bravo. We have a weekly episode that usually drops on Friday where we recap your favorite Bravo shows in 30-ish minutes or less. And then you can find us on Instagram at Real Moms of Bravo.
Boop. Abby, any final words?
God, that's like so. I don't know. My final words are stay sexy.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, hang tight. All right, everybody, that was Abby and Vanessa from Real Moms of Bravo. Honestly, are they not the most fucking fun? I saw them at BravoCon. We whooped it up. We had a most wonderful time. If you know Best of Bravo, Maggie Kelly, who is another one of my Bravo besties, she's also really close with Real Moms of Bravo. So I was able to hang out with all of them together in New York at BravoCon. It was wonderful, and I'm so happy they joined me today to kick off the weekend. As always, thank you also for listening and kicking off your weekend with me. And I hope you don't do anything this weekend that I wouldn't do, which means you're free to go be a crazy slut. As always, be sure to get you some Real Housewives fun merch at theslutpigshop.com and follow me on Instagram at Christian Gray Snow. I hope y'all have a good weekend. Besos.